Hey my wonderful people, you're welcome to the channel. This is Yuglo Fashion and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'll be showing you how to make a double layer handkerchief sleeve. So first of all, I'll just try to divide it into two, which means I'll have the upper part, which is the straight side, and also the handkerchief side. So for the straight side of the sleeve, I first measured 2 inches, then after that I measured 5 inches and used 10.5 inches for the length of the upper part, and also added ½ inch for seam. So at the 5 inches, the 5 inches is the bicep, the circumference there is 13 inches. Divided by 2 give me 6.5, and I added 1 inch for the seam allowance. So at the elbow, the circumference of the elbow is 11 inches. I added 1 inch as well for the seam allowance, and I connected the two together. So for the 2 inches I measured first, I added 1 inch to the circumference of the bicep, and just to give me this slant shape, then also added 1 inch for seam. So from this point, the upper part here, I measure my starting point, I measure 3.5 inches, then give it a curve shape back to the 2 inches side. Now we are done with the straight part of the sleeve. For the handkerchief part, the length I'll be working with is 19 inches. That is, the length of the sleeve is 19 inches minus the straight part, which is 10.5. that will give 8.5 inches. So the handkerchief sleeve, the first step, the first layer will be 8.5 inches. Yeah, starting from there down to the length of the sleeve is 8.5. Then the circumference of the elbow is 11 inches divided by, I initially wanted to divide it by 6.28. that's how to measure for flare, but I later changed my mind and decided to do this in the old method way. So at times, if you want to divide your flare, you can use 6.28 inches to divide, just to get the circumference of this upper part. So from the edge, from the down part, I measured the length of the sleeve, which is 8.5 inches. So I'm cutting the first layer now. So, and from there I brought back the measuring tape to the peak here. I measure what I have 2 inches, so I went round with the 2 inches. So if you eventually divide 11 inches by 6.28, you will have like 1.7, or which you can still approximate to 1.8, but here I'm using 2 inches. So at this point here also, instead of going around just like normal flare, I don't need it. What I just need to do is just to measure what I have from this point down to the edge here, and also transfer it to the other side here. I hope you understand what I'm doing here. Then I connected the lines with my ruler. Sorry, it's not showing well, but it's just like in a triangular shape. I hope you can see it properly now. This is how it is. I measure whatever I measure at the end here, at the down part here, is the same thing I measured up here as well. Then I went ahead to cut it out. So after cutting, this is what I have. It's just like I said, a triangular shape. Now for the second step or second layer, I will just subtract 3 inches from the 8.5 inches which I used for the first layer, and that will give me 5 inches. But before that, after folding, I just pick what I cut out from the first layer, then try to retrace it on my pattern paper. First of all, this will save me from the stress of measuring again. Then from that point, I'll just measure my 5.5 inches. So I think this is clearer, unlike the first layer I did. So you just roll your straight line, then also measure the same length there. Whatever I have here, I'll measure it here as well. Then I'll roll it out. So now we have the double layer. This now depends on how you want it to be. You can turn it this way. You can decide to make the shape equal if you like. You can turn the upper layer the other way around and make the down layer like the one in the thumbnail. So after cutting the upper part, the straight side of the sleeve, the straight part, I notched the middle. Then this sharp edge that I have here, I notch it as well, and ensure that the middle and that part are well connected together. You can see I notch it and connect them together. So the next thing is just to sew around. So thank you very much for watching this video to the end. Love you, and please subscribe. Thank you.